Hello. To make the hanging decoration or standing decoration in a spherical shape, just the general shape of it, no cutouts, you are going to follow these directions. First, draw a circle, and you're actually not going to draw it, you're going to let the computer draw it. And you're going to type in the dimensions. You just click the ellipse, grab the ellipse tool and click, and then go down here, make the width 300 and the height 300. Okay? That will allow us to fit two of these on this page at the same time. Then you are going to turn off of the fill and change the border to red. The way we do this is you can actually just type in here the number red that we need is number FF0000. So 4 zeros, 2 Fs, 4 zeros, and then number sign in front. And make sure this says RGBA. And can just hit enter and there it'll be. It should also be 1 pixel, so double check that. It usually defaults to that. Okay, so we've got our circle. That's the start. Now we're going to cut the bottom off to flatten it so it can stand. So we're just going to draw a rectangle down at the bottom, just overlapping the very bottom, maybe take a little bit more off, and then select the two objects and subtract so that we make the bottom flat there. Okay? I just want to lock these so I don't mess with them. There we go. So for our next part, we're going to find the center of this. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to use the pen tool. We're going to, if you line it up, the blue line should show. We click in the front to the left, and then we click to the right. Now, if we get this lined up perfectly, it'll turn colors a little bit. But let's say you missed that and you click and you think you have it perfect. By the way, you have to hit enter to get rid of the rest of the tail there. That'll finish your line. What we have to do is we have to make sure this is perfectly horizontal. If this says anything other than 0, it's not horizontal. And we can't change it here. We actually have to redraw it. So do that pen tool again. So we're going to draw a horizontal line. We got to line it up. We want that blue line showing. So I'm going to click. Be very careful here. And then if you have it perfectly horizontal, it'll change colors right there. Click. And then to end it, we hit enter or return. And then we check to make sure the height says 0, and it does. Okay. Next, what we want to do is we want to draw the rectangular slots. So we grab the rectangle tool and we're going to make it a little bit longer than the circle. The exact dimension would be 10 width by 150 for half, a little more than half of this circle, because remember we chopped off some on the bottom, and we want to have it touching that center line there. Then we want to duplicate it, Control D, and have it touching that center line right there. Now we're going to center everything on the circle. So the way you do that is you want to select everything. You can do it like this, or you can do Control A. Selects everything. That's really helpful. Oops, my directions down here are not locked. Let's try it again. Control A. There we go. So I've got everything selected, and I'm going to right click. If you're using a Chromebook, tap with 2 fingers, and you're going to choose Align Center. That will put everything to the center of this circle. Perfect. So now what we want to do is we can get rid of this center line. We don't need it anymore. I'm going to delete, and I'm going to select all, and I'm going to duplicate. And this gives me a second one. This is going to be my other one. I'm going to move this down, and on the top one, we can delete the top slot, and on the bottom one, we can delete the bottom slot. And now we actually cut out the slots. We do this by selecting these 2 shapes, so the overlapping rectangle and this circle. If you accidentally select the one below, do it again, okay, because you don't want that. You just want these 2. And so then we're going to subtract again. Now we've got that perfect top part, and then we'll do the same with the bottom. And then we want to subtract. It's the second one here. Now, the last thing we need to do is we need to put a loop hook on the top here. So I'm going to move this down a little bit. And we do that by selecting the ellipse tool. We're going to click up here, and you can, let's see, I think I'm going to go to my instructions, 80 by 80, yeah. So we're going to change this to 80 by 80. And you want this to be basically, see these two boxes? If they're touching right here and here, that's a perfect place, but we want to center it. So I'm going to select these two and I want it centered right and left. So I'm going to right click, tap with 2 fingers if you have a Chromebook, and align center. Okay. Now I want to combine these two shapes. So I'm going to unite. There we go. Now we need to make a little circle up top, the hole. So I'm going to take the ellipse tool again. I'm going to click around there. I'm going to change the size. Let me double check the numbers. I think it's 30 by 20. It is 40 by 30, sorry. So 40 wide by 30 tall. So the width is 40, which it already is, and the height is 30. Oh, and if it changes together, that means it's locked. You might have to unlock it, okay, for any of those shapes that we were changing the size. So 40 wide by 30 tall. And there's our horizontal ellipse. Now you don't want it down here because you don't want it messing with your design. You want it up here in the hook. So if there was an imaginary circle that continued there, it would not interfere. And you can use the arrow keys to move it up just right. And then we want to center it again. So select these two, right click, oops, select these two, right click, align center. Now, if this is not coming up, you don't have them both selected. You might have to go back and do it again, but it is for me. So align center. And now I want to cut that out. So I choose subtract. And then you have your 2 ornaments. Now they should both fit within this page. You want to make sure they're both in the page. If I submitted this right now, the top part would get chopped off. So we want to make sure they're both in this page, okay? Practically touching, but not overlapping. Now, you won't have the instructions on your page, so you won't have to worry about all of this off to the side there. And that's it. Okay, thanks for watching. Come to Extra Help if you have any questions.